Hello and welcome back to the 10th Muse. So I'd like to share with you a video that is on YouTube channel called Thoughts of Brian. In this video, a gentleman who is about 32 years old, who is formerly a devout Christian, shares his experience of being influenced by purity culture. And he mentions a text called I Kissed Dating Goodbye by Joshua Harris. And this is a book which was promoted by evangelical churches in the purity culture movement. The author has since disavowed this opinion. And I'd like to share this particular clip with you because it shares the perspective from a man. So oftentimes purity culture is focused on women, and I'd like to include perspectives of all people in this channel. So just me as he shares a little bit about his experience.
I ate it up hook, line, and sinker. I really tried to essentially live by it. I really believed that if I kind of followed all these principles of not really dating, of, not lusting, of just trying to live super pure, that God was just gonna give me this crazy amazing marriage to this amazing gorgeous woman, and my life was just gonna be freaking amazing. And I lived out that. I didn't date at all in high school. I didn't actually ask a girl out on a date until about a year after I'd graduated high school. And I didn't really know how to date, how to interact. Honestly, I have not had that successful of a dating life. That could be contributed to many factors, but definitely one factor was I didn't ever really have that dating experience in high school when everybody was figuring it out. So I often feel behind.
So in this clip, he talks about the lingering effects of feeling awkward and unprepared and quite out of the loop when it comes to dating. And this is something that is, I think, of particular importance, not only because of how pervasive that is, even though he has since left the church, but also of how this affects presumably heterosexual people too. In the ideal that he presents, he's looking for a wife, so I'm presuming he's a heterosexual male. And the significance of this is that the programming that is involved in purity culture, it affects everyone. So not only is it explicitly forbidden to have any sort of sexual desire that isn't ordained and pre-approved by the fundamentalist church, it is especially impactful for even if your sexual desires are in alignment with church doctrine, that you could still be a heterosexual person in a heterosexual marriage seeking heterosexual dating partners and still be malaffected by these teachings.
I'm 32. It's by far not too late. I've made great strides in kind of unlearning some of this stuff and getting more comfortable dating, but it's been weird. And I think there's definitely been an element of shame around sex, of course, because that's what purity culture is all about. And even getting, when I am dating somebody, I feel very uncomfortable with any physical intimacy too, honestly, because it was so hammered home, to the guys, if you have sex with somebody before marriage, or even, and in some circles, even if you kiss somebody before your wedding day, you're taking something away from this girl and you're violating her boundaries and you're doing something really evil. And I really internalized that. So, physical, anything beyond giving somebody a hug, it's kind of feels uncomfortable to me sometimes.
So in this clip, he talks about the lingering effects of shame, how even though he has since left the church and would like to have intimate relationships, fully intimate, and that's not only sexual, that's any kind of physical touch, any kind of physical affection, and it also includes emotional intimacy. So as we were discussing, closeness and emotional connection can only happen with authenticity. It is in our vulnerable, unfiltered moments that we're able to really see who we are and to be seen and to be cared for in our most authentic state.
But because I was such a devoted young Christian, I really, really wanted the best for myself and what I believed Christ wanted for me. And so I took it very seriously, and it still affects me years after because, again, I kind of missed some of this stuff and have some of this, these fears and anxieties and stuff so deeply ingrained in me that it's hard to have a healthy relationship even like outside of the church with like just somebody who's normal and enjoy like being a basic human being, enjoying, you know, emotional connection, physical connection, all this stuff.
So the recovery from religious trauma is one that takes a lot of time and is very delicate and nuanced. So if this resonates with you, know that there are no absolutes. It's not necessary that you abandon all of the beliefs that you might have been raised with, but you may need to take an examination of how these beliefs are affecting you. If you find that a belief that diminishes you as a person rather than something separates behavior that you're doing to harm others, then maybe it deserves some scrutiny. This process is one that oftentimes involves grief. It involves loss, loneliness, and that's not easy. So to embark upon this journey is to know that the results of learning how to embrace yourself fully and how to engage relationships as your authentic self will allow you to connect with people in deep and authentic ways. They'll also allow you to connect with people who appreciate you. If you're constantly wearing a mask, then you don't know if the people you love actually love you. And so the process of this may mean that you may lose some people along the way. There may be some people who don't understand why you're behaving this way, why you are making choices that you are. But loving yourself is never a wrong choice. Being true to yourself is something that gives life richness and will allow you to have healthier, happier relationships. So there's a trade-off. There is no winning the freedom of self-acceptance without sacrifice. Some people may take some time to adjust to you and your life and what you're sharing with them. They may not get it at first. Perhaps they will. And it also may mean that in the interim, your life may change and it may be lonely. But know that on the other side of that are connections that are real and relationships that are based in valuing who you are as a person. And that is something you will never regret. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope that if this speaks to you, you'd be willing to share some comments below. Please like, subscribe, and share. And I look forward to hearing about you and how you have recovered from religious trauma. Thank you and have a great day.